The cracks appeared out of nowhere, one each morning for a week. They were fine, hairline fractures, spiderwebbing across the surface of his car's rearview mirror. He thought he was losing his mind, that stress was making him see things. He had no idea he was receiving an urgent 7-day countdown, a visual warning from his guardian angel that was methodically counting down to a moment of fiery destruction, a moment he was being guided to avoid. This is the incredible true story of how a divine message delivered in the most unusual of ways saved a man from a horrific and deadly wreck. His name was David, and he was a man of routine. Every morning, he drove the same 45-minute commute to his downtown office. The drive was monotonous, a blur of traffic and familiar landmarks. His car was his sanctuary, a place of quiet preparation for the day ahead. One Monday morning, as he got into his car, he noticed it, a small, thin crack in the top corner of his rearview mirror. He was annoyed. He couldn't remember anything hitting it. He figured a stray rock must have kicked up on the highway the day before. He made a mental note to get it fixed and started his drive. The stakes seemed incredibly low, just another minor, irritating expense. But this was not an ordinary crack. It was the first part of a divine message, the first chime of a 7-day alarm clock. The next morning, Tuesday, he got into his car and his blood ran cold. There was a second crack, intersecting with the first. This was impossible. He ran his finger over the smooth, unbroken surface of the glass. The cracks were on the inside, beneath the surface. He felt a profound sense of unease, a feeling that he was witnessing something that defied the normal laws of physics. The air in his car, usually so familiar and comforting, suddenly felt strange and charged. He tried to rationalize it. A manufacturing defect, perhaps, changes in temperature causing the glass to stress. But a part of him knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that this was not a normal event. By Wednesday, a third crack had appeared. On Thursday, a fourth. Each day, a new fine line was added to the bizarre growing pattern. The mirror was like a living thing, a crystal canvas on which an unseen artist was painting a message of imminent fracture. David was genuinely frightened now. He told his wife, who thought he was overworked and exhausted. He considered taking the car to a mechanic, but what would he say? My mirror is growing new cracks every morning? He felt like he was living in a ghost story. The rearview mirror, a tool for seeing what is behind you, had become a terrifying window into something that was ahead of him. The final 3 days were agonizing. A 5th crack on Friday, a 6th on Saturday. David was now so unnerved that he avoided driving anywhere. By Sunday, the day of the 7th crack, the mirror was a shattered mosaic. A beautiful and terrifying work of art. The original single crack of Monday morning had become the epicenter of a miniature cataclysm. David knew, with an unshakable intuitive certainty, that he could not drive that car on Monday. The 7-day warning was complete. The message had been delivered. On Monday morning, exactly 1 week after the first crack appeared, David stood at his front window, the keys to his car feeling heavy and dangerous in his pocket. His logical mind was screaming at him that this was insane. He had a major presentation at work. He couldn't just not show up. But the image of that shattered mirror was burned into his consciousness. It was a clear, unambiguous symbol of a wreck. He felt a divine nudge, an almost physical pressure in his chest, telling him to stay home, to take the bus. He chose to listen. The sensation of walking to the bus stop was surreal. The air felt crisp and unusually clear, the sounds of the neighborhood sharp and distinct. He felt a profound sense of peace, the calm that comes after making a difficult but correct decision. He boarded the bus, and as it rumbled along his usual commuting route, he saw it. Up ahead, on the exact stretch of highway he would have been on at that exact time, was a scene of utter chaos. A multi-car pileup, involving a jackknife tractor trailer, had turned the road into a twisted junkyard of burning metal and black smoke. His exit, the one he took every single day, was completely blocked by the wreckage. If he had been in his car, he would have been at the very heart of the inferno. He would have been the first car hit by the truck. He stared out the bus window, his body trembling, a cold sweat breaking out on his skin. The shattered mirror was not a warning of a future possibility. It had been a literal snapshot of his destiny, a destiny that his guardian angel had intervened to rewrite. This story is a stunning example of a divine message, a communication that uses the language of symbols to bypass our rational, skeptical minds. A voice in his head might have been dismissed as an errant thought. A dream might have been forgotten. But a physical object, changing impossibly day after day, was a message that could not be ignored. It was a tangible, physical manifestation of a spiritual warning. The Archangel Michael is often invoked as the angel of protection, the divine warrior who defends us from harm. It is easy to imagine that this protection only comes in dramatic supernatural events. But this story shows us that angelic guidance can be subtle, methodical, and deeply personal. The angel used the mirror, an object David looked at every single day, as its canvas. It was a message tailored specifically for him, delivered in a way that was guaranteed to get his attention. It forces us to ask, what are the cracked mirrors in our own lives? What are the strange, repeating coincidences, the nagging feelings of unease, the unusual symbols that we dismiss as random? Are they truly random, or are they a divine communication system? A loving warning from our spiritual protectors trying to steer us away from a hidden danger? David's story is a powerful call to awaken our spiritual senses. We must learn to see the world not just with our eyes, but with our souls. The universe is constantly speaking to us, offering guidance and protection. But we must be willing to listen, to see the patterns, and to have the courage to trust a message that our logical minds cannot explain. Your guardian angel is always on duty. The question is, are you paying attention to the signs? If this story of a miraculous angelic warning makes you wonder about the signs in your own life, consider following for more guidance on how to decode the divine messages that are all around you.